Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing an 11 by 8.5 layout. This is for Scraptember, and today's prompt is hoarding. Not that I'm really hoarding any products, because I really am trying to use up a lot of my stash, but I did pull out an older collection that I have been meaning to use up and finish off, and that is this one here from close to my heart. This was a unicorn dragon collection. I don't remember what it was called. I have literally scraps left of it, and I have a few project life cards. I have some little black embellishment pieces. I'll bring in a few more that I have that are still in a different package that I found when I was looking at the stamps, deciding if I was going to stamp on the layout. I decided not to. But I do bring in a few more of those black embellishments and I'll point those out. And like I said, I have literal scraps left of this collection, but I have this cute photo of my great niece and her shirt matches it perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and use up what I have left and I'm going to get it used. So I have a castle on this black and white coloring paper and I am going to cut that castle out. I have some cloud metal dies that I'm going to use to punch out some clouds from the papers so that I can use those as embellishments. The background paper is a Vicki Boutin mixed media paper already pre-made. So here I brought in black cardstock and I'm going to use that as another layer behind the photo. I'm going to use a lot of the papers as a layer behind the photo. That was how I figured I could use a lot of the scraps up along with punching them out. I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was looking for a different piece that got stuck underneath that piece that I showed there since it was laying over to the side of my desk. Like I've said before, I have lots of um, I guess, embellishments or different things that I used on other projects that I haven't put away just yet to the left and the right of me. So every once in a while, you'll see them flash in the camera. That's what that was. Anyways, I went ahead and laid down the coloring paper and then the stripe paper. And then I laid down the inside of that black piece of paper to add another layer. And then I'm doing the blue, which you can see I already punched clouds out to use. I also gutted that one there, which is the peach color. And then I'm going to come add in the lavender. And then I'm going to add this one down at the bottom, which is like a greeny color. It's not really green. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a mint color. At least on camera, it looks like it's mint. It's really light in real life. And then this little mirror, because it's cute and it says "Hello Love" on it, I decided to go ahead and add that here on the left-hand side of the photo. I'm going to pop it up a little bit on play foam since the frame is very thick. There's what, 4 or 5 layers worth of paper there. So it's definitely on the thicker side. So it need a little bit of play foam. And then this here is another little black embellishment that I brought in. It's a heart. And I used some of the like stars and sparkles to put on the inside of that heart. The unicorn I was showing you, I flipped it over and I had pieced on the back of it peach color, which is what I cut off from the frame. And I added it to the horse. And I used the black horse instead of the like colorful horse that I showed at the beginning. Um, it was a sticker. And instead I used the black one because I just think it pops a little bit more on the layout. So that's what I did there. And then the clouds, I die cut those, like I said before, with those metal dies. I did cut a bigger purple or lavender one and I put it under the castle. I figured it kind of looks like a fairy tale. When you think of a fairy tale, I always think of it as, your imagination because, unicorns and castles and dragons don't really exist, or at least we don't think they do. So, they're clouds. That's your imagination working. So that's why I brought in a lot of the clouds. And then the cute little rainbow because it has all of the colors. So here I couldn't decide how I was going to put those clouds over there. And I think they'll change one more time before I actually put them down. I don't think they're glued down just yet. The castle is also popped up on uh, play foam, and then the unicorn will be laid flat. The rainbow is popped up on play foam also. So I'm going to start gluing everything down. I just kind of laid it where I think it's going to go. And I'm going to lay these little diamond pieces out. I did bring in a few more of those diamonds also. The ones that are the centerpiece is see-through, so I put peach paper behind that, kind of like a cut file. I backed it like you would a cut file. And then this cloud here, I'm going to add in behind the castle and above the unicorn's head. Again, just bringing in a different cloud and another cloud. This is where the clouds are going to change. I am going to use the larger lavender one, and then I'll put the blue one over to the left hand side instead of the right where I showed it originally. And that was, there's no rhyme or reason. I just thought it looked better. I don't know. I kept playing with them and I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really look like anything. And then I did the colorful clouds down at the bottom versus the white ones. One, because I didn't have any more of the sparkly paper, but also to add just more color at the bottom. So that was the reason for that. And then here I added her name, Adeline, and then I took a couple of little like circles from the Thickers set to add a little bit of gold all around the layout. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but you'll definitely be able to see it in the close-ups. And then I added one more over there by the heart also, and you'll see her name in the close-ups too. They're very thin gold letters. There you go. So they weren't showing very well. But there you go. That's the layout. I hope you guys enjoyed today's layout. A little bit of a rushed voiceover. But this again is for Scraptember, and I will have the playlist down below. Bye!